Hello, world. This is Chris Aballo's podcast experiment, and I am Chris Aballo. Welcome to the show. Thank you for following the show on Instagram and TikTok at CAPEPOD. Thank you also for subscribing to the show wherever you get your podcasts, as well as on YouTube, where you can find video episodes of the show every single week. Yes, even this episode. If you're watching this on YouTube right now and you're not seeing a whole lot of video activity going on, then bear with us just a moment because there is a video component to this show. And let me explain. Welcome to From the Archive Volume 5. So particularly recently, there has been a lot of reference to, the pre-show, and we went on for this long, and we've been here for a half hour, 40 minutes, stuff like that. We keep referring to the fact that there's a pre-show and that there's a lot of conversation, a lot that goes on, and it's always being recorded. Well, that's usually what the From the Archive series has consisted of, bits from the pre-show while we're just getting seated and warming up and going through the whole thing before we start the show properly. And what I've done twice a year since 2021 is collect a bunch of these segments, which are funny and entertaining, and put them out as episodes. And since I've had to go through old episodes to pull this unreleased material, it's called From the Archive. And this is the fifth one. The last one was in September of 2022. Cape 214 was the last time one of these went out, Volume 4. And honestly, I was debating whether or not I was even going to do one this year, just because there were less episodes. Granted, in 2022, there were 24 Cape episodes, and this year there's only going to be 20. And I wasn't sure whether or not I was going to do one of these. I thought, well, a fresh episode every week and blah, 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 and there's so many people I want to get together and all this other stuff. But at the same time, we keep referring to it. There is enough material. Frankly, this show is only going to be about an hour-ish, which is short in terms of Cape. And I realized, look, it's a holiday week. Thanksgiving is on Thursday, so people are busy. Maybe you're not having as much time as you normally would commuting to work or something like that. Your own time where you're listening to or watching a show like Cape. Or maybe you are. Maybe you're spending more time and you were hoping this was going to be like one of those 2.5-hour episodes of the show. I'm sorry to disappoint you, but instead this episode clocks in at about an hour, which honestly seems like enough. It'd be very easy for this to be an hour and a half or 2 hours and a bunch of random bits from different episodes from the last few years. But it seemed like, let's make this a little bit more concise. So there are 6 segments, 5 of which are pre-show. One of them is actually material that was cut from a show, but I'll get to that later when we get to that clip, because that doesn't happen very often. But the pre-show stuff gets out of control, and it's not always gold, but the stuff that is, it seems worth sharing because it's still new to you. And honestly, for as many episodes as I've done with so many people, you forget. You forget there are all these funny bits and funny conversations because maybe you'll go back and listen to the episode or watch the episode, but you won't remember everything that happened before. Or sometimes those of us who do the show our memories will blur between what was part of the show and what was part of the pre-show. There's some notable episodes where we carried on way too long before starting the actual show. And sometimes not long enough, but just the same. Now, for the first time since the full video episodes have been released for every show in 2023, you will finally see archive video because there's video of almost every show from the last 3.5 years. And honestly, it was easier for me to go back and just watch the video of these episodes just because I wisely made notes. When I made volumes 3 and 4 in 2022, I made notes as to which episodes I didn't pull pre-show material from. So thanks to my copious notes, which is a Howard Stern show reference for those of you with good taste, I was able to put this together and pull the video clips to keep the theme of putting out video episodes of the show. So you will actually see the video of these pre-show bits if you're watching the episode on YouTube. And if you're not, now you know to go check it out. These are 6 segments that you have yet to hear, so it's very much a brand new show. And we're going to start this off with a bit from the pre-show from Cape 221, the first episode of 2023 with myself, Christian Cortez, and Mike Zapsik. So we'll get right into it. Here's a little bit of pre-show from April of 2023. You on silent? I know you were, your phone's gone off before. Did you silence your phone?
Is my phone silent?
Yeah. It was going off before. I'm just asking.
It's not silent, but it will be.
Okay, thanks.
Just ask her. We're good.
Let's stop with the whispering because I have headphones on. That's weird as hell.
Why? I'm silencing my phone now.
Because it's ASMR.
I'm silencing my phone. Turn it. Come on. Isn't it weird hearing us whisper without the headphones on?
Strange. Oh my
I swear to God.
Christian, I think that's going in your birthday reel in 2 weeks.
Oh, shit.
With the headphones on your head like that, you look like one of the more retarded fat up under Cosby kids.
Jesus
I
Christ.
must sing a song for you.
Yeah.
I'm going to show you a thing or two.
You know, he was just talking about how there's too many black people in Star Wars, too. So
That was great. You're like,
Yeah,
you
but
son of a bitch. And
the
I'm
one
like,
person we do have is the coolest character. So,
which is who?
Lando.
I'm just asking. The one person. Not
oh,
anymore.
come on. You don't think Finn's pretty badass? I like Finn.
I like
Finn
Finn.
started badass, and then Disney was like, nah.
What about
that was a bit.
Moff Gideon?
Did you see that?
Come on, Giancarlo's. He's a...
Okay, that's fair.
Did you see that that meme that was floating around? I'm sure you have. It was it's Rey and Finn and Kylo Ren with the sword lightsaber. And it was like Star Wars: The Force Awakens is about an interracial couple getting chased by a man with a flaming cross. And I'm like, holy shit, that's really good.
Wow.
Whoa,
really
I
funny.
haven't seen that. Please send that to me.
Wait, I think I have it. I know I'm well aware we have a 90-minute countdown now because Mike has a life. He didn't have all night to sit around.
It said if Finn hooks up with Rey, he'd be the first stormtrooper to hit that.
Whoa.
That works. That works so well.
That's true. I do wonder what they're going to do in terms of like,
Here it is.
will any of them show up again? Oh my God.
That's perfect. And I'm like, what? This movie's 7 years old. Why did it take so long for somebody to put that together? Like that is, yeah.
And I
genius.
don't think that anyone has ever chased anyone with a burning cross. Like it's on fire, and you're ow, quick, run them down.
Mississippi Burning is now just an entirely different movie.
Yeah.
Okay,
Which
well-
I would love because then you got the fucking racists with all the blisters on their fucking hands.
Mississippi Burning, but with Star Wars and lightsabers. All right, I'm in.
Alderaan burning. Oh no, that's too late. Sorry, that happened a little bit before. Before the events of Force Awakens. My mistake.
But I hate to tell you, but not before the events in Mississippi. So
No, it was a long time ago, apparently, in a galaxy far, far away. So
You
it
think.
could have been. Well,
time is subjective.
it's all an illusion. We made it up.
I wouldn't be surprised. Start it, bitch.
Yeah, come on, man.
All right. Oh, see, now I'm so used to putting my phone away. I got my notes are away. There we go. Warm it up.
Mm-hmm.
You gonna do the theme song for your
He's-
10th anniversary of Cape?
Actually, no, he's just doing finger spiders.
Christian's doing finger spiders. It's a tapping on the table.
Stop fucking whispering.
It's creepy without the headphones on, though.
Christian gonna bang a song for you.
And to continue on with that same lineup, myself and Christian and Mike, we're going to go back to July of 2022 for this next segment. Now, you may have seen the clips where Mike and I are briefly discussing eating ass. Or maybe you haven't, because it's social media and those clips may not have gotten as many views and as much traction because we're talking about eating ass. I've been asked about that, and this is a longer version and a little more context for that part of the conversation, which happened in the pre-show from Cape 207, which was during a moment when we were also getting a little bit nerdy about films. But honestly, most of this pre-show was setting up the backdrop that you're going to see if you watch Cape 207, which is an episode from 2022, which went out in full on YouTube. Or if you are watching this on YouTube, you're about to see the video of it. A lot of that time was spent actually creating the backdrop, which is, all right, if you're listening, I'll just tell you what it is. It's basically the screen, because there's a green screen. We did this one at a shared universe in Red Bank, which actually the last time we were there was Cape 208. So yeah, July of 2022 was the last time we were at a shared universe Red Bank, because we're normally at the Bellworks studio. Nonetheless, we took the look of the original, I guess it's the Atari Donkey Kong or just the arcade Donkey Kong game, and kind of customized a version of that, which is hilarious to look at. But that was a lot of the pre-show, was kind of putting that together and throwing different ideas and seeing what would stick and then making it part of the backdrop. So yeah, that's what most of the pre-show was. But here's a couple of minutes that was funny and that a few people have even asked about. So from July of 2022, here's some more pre-show with myself, Mike, and Christian from Cape 207.
I'm a huge Boston Legal fan. I just watched the entirety of that back, which is hilarious.
I was just talking about Boston Legal to somebody.
Fucking love that show.
Because of James Spader, yeah.
Yeah, you made enemies of both of them. I mean, it wasn't your fault that Atlantic City the convention fell apart. That was
my fault.
Yeah, that was a transportation issue. I'm never coming back. But I'm like, he made enemies of Alan Shore and Denny Crane. It's pretty amazing.
Thank you.
I mean, not really.
I'm
It
sure
wasn't your
Donnie.
fault, but
I'm sure Donnie Crane.
Well, maybe. He must have crossed paths with him, right? He must do the Freddie Prinze Jr. Probably.
Actually, yes. I bumped into, we were doing a panel before the Rebels panel, and crossed paths with his wife. And she looked at me and she's like, "Oh, I want to have sex with you." I was like, "No, you don't." No, my wife's right behind me, Nate.
Yeah, no, you don't.
No, I don't want to.
I mean, you are a hall pass, but
No more, no more duking it out with any more Boston Legal guys.
yeah, right. Yeah, hit my quota. I love that
LA
show
Law.
so
LA
much.
Law
Oh my
is a
God.
great show too.
I feel like that never gets shown. I don't think that's in syndication or anything.
It
I
is
never seen
not.
LA Law anywhere.
No.
La La. This is a Golden Girls joke. That's what I think of every time I see that license plate. La La.
La La.
That Rose, of course, calls it La La. Yeah, the practice is good, but that's totally serious. So
Actually,
I'm glad they transitioned to Boston.
When they did the last season of
The practice.
the practice, I was like, "That's great, loved it."
Yeah. No, well, that season was good because you had some comic relief because the stories are very, very heavy. I'm like, how do they wring 8 seasons? This is a very heavy show.
But that
you know.
the fat guy, what's his name?
Oh, my God. Michael Berluti, I know, is a character. I can't think of the actor's name. I know who you're talking about. Go to the practice.
Hey, it was
scroll
great
up
to see
to
you.
2008, and there it is.
There it
It's
is.
right above Ally McBeal. Near the top. There it is. What the hell is his name? As soon as I see it.
Michael Badalucci.
Yeah,
Badalucco.
Badaluccio.
Badalucco.
Yeah, him. He didn't have
He was
photo
a
either.
raging bull. Hey, look at me.
That came out on
I'm
Criterion
Sandra
today.
Day. Really?
Yes, 4K as well.
7 years old.
They're doing 4K.
Look at me.
Of what?
Criterion's just doing 4K of every release. They did Shaft. They did
I'm
Raging
a soda
Bull.
fountain.
Oh, they did the Shaft release?
Yes. Criterion finally added Shaft, which is so. See, this is what I fucking hate about. I mean, there's a lot of things I hate about the era we live in.
Hey,
but
piece
like
of my heart.
on the message boards. Jesus Christ! Of course, it's a television movie.
I'm in
People are just like, oh, the Criterion Collection's going woke. I'm like, why? Because it's a black movie.
Really?
Like-
That's the argument now?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, it was the same when. Forgive me, I don't know the name of it. I haven't watched. I haven't watched Obi-Wan yet, and but like the woman who's hunting him or whatever, the black woman who I don't know the name of the character. I don't know the name of the actress.
Oh,
but, like,
Moses
yes, yeah.
Ingram.
But as soon as that dropped, they're just like, oh, Star Wars has gone woke. I was like, okay, number one, you've never paid attention to Star Wars. Number two, why? Because it's a black female character. Star Wars is woke.
Yeah, and
What the
why-
what fucking world do you live in?
And seriously, why are you using woke as such?
It's used as a slur, but it's
Yeah.
not. It's like just because
you're a fucking dickweed.
Yeah,
and,
black people
but
or
look,
gay people or whatever. Deep Cover's on 4K, I think, too. Which I was like, that's a deep cut choice. I think it's a.
We
no,
just
it's
watched Fist of Fury.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, they got a Bruce Lee box set too with all those movies.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, Hard Boil's out of print.
That's
I
fantastic.
wish they would put that out again. That
Ghost Dog?
Ghost Dog just came out with, I think, this year.
You're the ghost dog.
I hate the back of Forrest Whitaker's neck. I was thinking, don't be a menace. I hate black pepper. Bernie Mac. You must remember that scene. Yeah, Raging Bull. A bunch of stuff just dropped today. But yeah, Raging Bull is on. But the thing I like is they do combo packs. So the 4K comes packaged with the Blu-ray, and obviously they're both sourced
That's
from
awesome.
4K. Virgin Suicides was today. Pink Flamingos, which is not great, but I get why people
Actually,
want it.
it's really
Double Indemnity. Yes, that just came out today too.
That's fucked up because we
I'm
were
sorry,
just
May.
talking about.
John Waters.
No, because we're talking about like It's funny. We were talking about eating ass, Christian, and
As you do. Over dinner,
as
no
one
less.
does.
We're eating tacos, and we're talking about eating ass.
Eating ass, yeah.
Which, as we all know, is just mere
as one
inches
does.
away from the taco. But go on.
So yeah, he's not wrong. But Pink Flamingo, where Divine ate a very small piece of dog shit. But guess what? I know it's a little vomit making.
A little bit.
However, now you'll never forget her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have you seen Pink Flamingo?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay.
It's one of the. It's just like Requiem for a Dream for me. I saw it once, and I don't need to see it again.
No, you don't need to see it again.
I'm
Totally.
that way with Saving Private Ryan and fucking pretty much.
Requiem for a Dream.
Yeah, that was fucking hard to watch.
Yeah. There's some of those movies where I'm like, I'm not entertained. There's certain movies I've avoided for the same reason. Like American Sniper, never seen. I'm like, I'm sure it's great. I'm not going to walk away from that entertained. Like it doesn't seem like a fun watch.
And now we jump ahead to this month, November of 2023, the triumphant return of Jack DeFranco, his second appearance in 2023. The first one was the Wax special, of course, Cape 230, classic episode. I hesitate to use the term instant classic because it's an oxymoron, but I feel like that show is just going to live forever. One of the handful of episodes I feel like it's just going to be shown forever. But an important landmark in the history of, well, specifically Jack, because he talked about and announced that he's going to become a father next year and wanted to break that news on the show to a degree, unless you follow him on social media, in which case, and you saw it before we did the episode, but nevertheless, he wanted to talk about that whole process. And that was another episode with a really long pre-show where we started talking about movies and all kinds of stuff that we ended up getting into in the episode itself. But as usual, there was a lot of screwing around beforehand with Jack and myself and Christian. So from Cape 235 in November of 2023, here is some pre-show nonsense.
Aballo, one more. Hello, world.
Hello, world.
Okay.
How's that?
We're good.
Looks good.
It's weird to do it on command like that because I never do it like ever unless I'm doing the show. So it's kind of strange.
Dance monkey.
It's kind of what it feels like. Can you imagine? Like if somebody hired me.
Yeah. Say it. Say it again.
Well, it is like doing, listen, voiceover jobs where I'm doing take after take until I nail it or have to re-record parts. Like that's fine, but it's a different kind of performance. It's not me, playing game shows like I do with, Hello World.
So, new thing. When you want to summon me,
Do you have a remote?
That'd be perfect.
Is there a remote
oh my god,
that I can take the batteries out of?
I don't have like a remote.
Son of a bitch.
Oh, just tap something on your phone.
Or I'll snap my fingers. Like you see the running joke on Last Week Tonight when John Oliver snaps his fingers and then George Clooney appears?
Snap your fingers. I'm not George Clooney, but
You're better. That's right. You're easier to look at. All right, go away.
I wish I had a poof thing, like a poof.
Like a smoke effect.
Yeah.
That'd be fun. We'll work on it. When I got my own studio with blackjack and hookers.
No, screw that.
Did you miss us, Jack?
I did.
Well, this is the last time I'm going to fucking see you now that you're going to have a kid, but that's another story.
This might be my final episode.
It might be. Certainly, we're not going to see Jack at all of 2024.
Yeah.
Because I won't, so the show sure as hell won't.
I've been pooped on 400 times. It's nice to see adults. What you been up to?
Dude,
Apparently I turned 40 and I didn't notice.
Yeah. I haven't slept in 2 years.
Yeah.
Jack, let me hear you speak at your speaking volume, boss.
Just as you normally do. Just sit comfortably. You don't need to. You're gonna hurt your neck. if you
Yeah,
do
I
this.
don't-
You just sit-
I hunch all day long at work doing this, so I need to.
Well, that's Ryan.
relax.
Too. That's why Ryan's going to the chiropractor because he's turning into like the number 7. Like,
Yeah.
a really. If there was such a thing as a lowercase number 7, it would be Ryan
Sorry,
because he little.
it's not COVID.
Yeah, that's what they all say.
Yeah, I tested
Meanwhile-
multiple times.
Literally what they all say.
Yeah, that's what everybody has said.
Literally what they all say, bro.
I could have had COVID,
and then it's like, sorry, I got the positive. Fuck you.
I've never had it,
Yeah, you and my parents, the only people. You and
Apparently,
Noel
I-
and my parents, the only people
but
who've
I
never
could have
had it.
had it and I just didn't know.
I've had it.
I've had 2 upper respiratory infections in the past year, so I don't imagine COVID being worse.
Look, I might have had it twice because when I was sick at the beginning of 2020 for 2 months with that cough that would not quit, it may have been COVID, but there's no way of knowing.
Yeah. My father-in-law too. He was like sick for
Really?
the first couple months of 2020, and they just couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, exactly. Same with
Yeah.
that was
You
Richard
got- so
Marx at
you-
the end of 2019.
You
He
got
had
the
something that they
mystery.
couldn't-
You got the mystery. You got the
The
question.
early bird special of COVID.
exactly.
Yeah, we call this the question. You got the
Yeah.
you got the question.
You got
sickness.
COVID.
What is it? We don't know.
You got COVID 1.
Yeah.
You got,
got
the first draft.
You got the prototype COVID.
Exactly.
Test drive it for.
It
Yeah.
wasn't going to kill you yet, but it was.
Do not-
you
yeah,
were
but-
making it stronger.
But don't recommend. One star. Do not recommend.
1 star. All right.
What, we got to start or something?
I remember that in 2021, like, because 5 days into 2021 or 6 days, January 6th happened, and they're
Yeah.
like, I had my free trial of 2021. I want to send it back. Like, I'm not impressed.
Even the car warranty people stopped calling. Like, we've been trying to reach you. No, you haven't.
Yeah.
I would have given you the year back, but you stopped calling me.
Oh my god. I love this TV thing.
Yeah, it looks great.
It is so stupid.
Yeah, but it's not very on brand for the show.
No, it's awesome.
I mean, it actually
I'm glad I'm
gives,
here for the
it
debut.
gives my camera a frame.
Yeah, well, that's why I like it because it's
Yeah.
it's something visual.
Wait a minute.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
No.
Yes! Yes! I'm an old TV show. Kahuna Vision in fabulous black and white.
Okay, so every time we cue your camera, pull up Maple Leaf Rag. Well, or In the Mood by Glenn Miller. And
Nah, Peter Gunn.
or the Honeymooners theme. Jack it out, hum the Honeymooners theme. I don't know what it is. It's the Honeymooners,
Yeah.
starring Jackie Gleason and Art Carney. That would really bring the show to a screeching halt mid-conversation when you jump in. It's the Honeymooners.
I know the theme song. Gleason, Jackie Gleason. They ripped you off and made this show called The Flintstones.
And it's better.
Yeah, it's much better.
Is it?
I think so.
I feel bad because this is from the designer of the same guy who gave us Scooby-Doo, and I'm just like...
Well, that explains it.
It does explain it, but it also, I'm like,
hate
damn.
Scooby-Doo.
You hate Scooby-Doo?
I hate Scooby-Doo.
You can't say you hate anything animated in front of this kid.
Sorry.
He'll lose his shit. Why do you hate Scooby-Doo?
I dislike Scooby-Doo. It's boring.
I mean, I
It's
agree.
never been entertaining.
Every episode is the same thing.
Yeah, it is.
Like, that's why the Futurama parody was genius.
Absolutely.
Wait a second. So you like the Flintstones, but don't like Scooby-Doo?
Yeah. I don't know. I just
You
don't like the
realize that
characters.
they're both the...
Round
Pretty much
one.
the same thing. I understand.
Yeah.
I don't know. The Flintstones, the family dynamic was a little bit more digestible. I just don't like. I don't like Shaggy at all. Like if he died, the show would be better. Maybe I would have liked Scooby Doo.
Yeah, Scooby gets so
I'm
high
done.
he eats Shaggy.
Yeah.
That's Jack's kind of movie.
All right, I'm out.
Aw.
Sorry.
Jack also says Matthew Lillard sucks. Anyway,
Are you fucking kidding me?
I
dude?
didn't say that.
just because he played Shaggy. That's all.
Oh yeah. That.
Well, no.
He was in
'cause
Five
he's
Nights at
also
Fre-
Stu.
You fucking watched that, didn't you?
I did.
Of course you did, because it's a
I have
horror
a story
movie
about it
and
because
you're-
it involves pregnancy.
Oh,
cravings.
in that case, yes. Save it, please.
It involves pregnancy cravings. So we don't. I don't want to go pay money to see
what,
it.
She
It's
had
on
a
Peacock.
craving to watch Five Nights at Freddy's?
No.
$80 million says a lot of people wanted to see that.
Yeah,
You'd pay to see it. So.
Bigger. It beat Oppenheimer for opening weekend. It made $130 million.
But it has a big fan
its
base,
opening
so it makes
weekend.
sense.
But worldwide, not in the U.S. Wasn't the U.S.
No.
like 80?
U.S. was like 80 million or something like that.
US was 100.
No.
Wow.
I'm pretty
I
sure.
mean, I believe it. It's got a pretty big fan base, but apparently, like,
Well, it does. And if you.
it's disappointing to some people. But like, I don't give.
Yeah,
a shit.
like I don't give a shit because I haven't played the game, and apparently that's the only way you'll be interested in the movie. I'm like,
Yeah.
okay.
I only played the first 2 games, and I know of the last few.
Mm-hmm.
But I really did enjoy it. I was like, "Oh, this is a fun popcorn flick." Like, I don't
No,
like
dude,
this.
domestic right now, it's only made 92. So that must be
Okay.
worldwide it made 130. Because I'm
But
like,
still,
I really. Oh, no. It's
making a lot of money more than some other things.
Well, I mean, for something that's simultaneously streaming, like that is
Yeah.
a big deal, actually. So.
and that's
'cause
what I thought. I was
everyone-
like, man, this
Because
is
everyone thought it was going to flop because of the simultaneous.
Right.
Whereas
yeah, because they did the
everybody was
Halloween
like,
movies the last 2
yeah.
years on that. and
Everyone was like, "Nah, we're going to see a Halloween movie in a Halloween time."
Right.
In a
nobody
theater.
showed up for Exorcist. So
No,
Good.
good. 'cause
Nobody
that
liked
movie-
Exorcist
'cause that
either,
movie
so.
was hot garbage.
that's what I hear. I've never seen the original, and I'm not going to start with the new one. So I was like,
You've never seen the original Exorcist?
it looks terrifying. No.
It is.
It
I
is
mean, I'm sure at
terrifying.
the
That's
time
the
it
point.
was, but
The new one is
wow,
just
dude.
the new one just plays too much into the jump scare
I
sensibilities.
heard after the first 30 minutes, it's like it unravels.
Yeah.
And
Yes, it literally made $80 million and $1,000. So yeah, it actually made $80 million in the U.S. this weekend.
Oh shit.
good for Freddy.
So, no, that's look, it's awesome.
It killed
but-
an afternoon. It was fun.
Yeah.
I mean, sure. I'm just saying, like, I don't care because I follow the
Listen,
game.
how much depth am I really going to get from a movie about
I
killer
don't care.
robots? Like, you know,
I was in the mood for a Halloween movie. My wife doesn't want to watch anything too scary. This was perfect.
dude,
We followed it up
By
to
the
Haunted
way-
Mansion, and I fell
All right,
asleep.
all right.
So-
We'll get into it.
Haunted Mansion.
Let's not give it all away.
Really? I was so bored.
All right, now hang on. Save it for the show.
Our apartment's decoed like Hocus Pocus this year. We have a blanket. We have everything. It's no else. Like I don't care. Halloween's her favorite movie. Halloween's her favorite. No.
Her favorite. It was
her
her favorite
favorite
time of year.
holiday. But yeah, like this is the first time we were able to like kind of go all out in our new place. And
That's true. Okay, I get it.
Half of it was Hocus Pocus. So
Yeah. Sounds awful.
I don't get it. But whatever.
I'm getting a '90s child nightmare.
Yeah.
It's just fun. That's it.
The thing
it's
is,
like Halloween Town.
It's a chick
I
flick.
remember
It's
as a
terrible.
kid.
Halloween Town or After Our Time, kid. Sorry.
As a kid,
Sorry, Junior.
my sister and my cousin went, and they're like, Jack, do you want to go see this movie Hocus Pocus with us? I'm like, no, I don't. And then it just disappeared from the world. And then like 20 years later, it's my favorite movie. It's my favorite movie. Like that piece of shit was everyone's favorite movie.
Out of nowhere.
That came and went.
But out of nowhere, like all of a sudden, it was like everyone's talking about Hocus Pocus. Like I remember Hocus Pocus. I remember it came out and
in
that was
August, I was on summer vacation when they asked me to go. I'm
Yeah.
like, no, I don't want to see that.
I saw it on. There was once.
I want to see Last Action Hero, but it's gone from theaters. Son of a bitch.
Damn it! Week 3 and it's already gone.
Yeah.
But I remember watching it back when the Disney Channel was a premium channel, and they would do free previews for like 2 weeks or for like the month of August or whatever. And I watched Hocus Pocus. Now, I still contend I love the most worthwhile scene in that entire movie is Penny Marshall and Gary Marshall, of course, because they're just kind of being
It's not
themselves.
horrible, but I just don't get it. But I guess I wasn't that
Well, no, it
demographic.
is. Like I get the Mean Girls fandom to a degree because Mean Girls is funny as hell, but like Hocus Pocus is just it's fine.
I didn't love
It's
Mean
fine.
Girls, to be honest with you.
I did. It was the first time I've seen a teen movie like that really like worked for a long like in a while where I was like this actually tackles some archetypes that hold up, which is what I enjoyed about it. It was real. I was reluctant because I was like, didn't Tina Fey co-write? I don't know about that. But Carol and I went and saw the theater, laughed our asses off. I was like, that was really good. Now I don't understand the fucking it's October 3rd and all that other fucking goofy fandom since or all the girls who spit out kids since just like I'm not gonna the moms, I'm a cool mom. No, you missed the point. Amy Poehler's mom was not cool. Her daughter didn't like her because she thought she was in her mid-40s, but she wanted to be like one of the girls like in high school. She wasn't the cool mom. That was the joke. But now all you bitches have kids. She's like, I'm not gonna mom, I'm a cool mom, and you completely
And
missed
that's
the
how
joke.
it just keeps going and going. It's gonna be like that. Yeah.
Fucking movies. I mean, at least it's a good movie. It's not like Hocus Pocus.
Yeah.
Anyway, but Christian grew up in a different time. Yeah, Hocus Pocus was old by the time he came along, actually. So
I'll tell you what, it's like
Halloween Town.
at least in terms of like why it's liked, I think I look at it as like our generation. You guys had Monster Squad. We had that.
I love Monster Squad.
okay, which is
I
coming on
watched
4K
that a couple years ago.
Coming on 4K this month.
Yeah.
which by the
Noelle
way,
and I watched that. She's like,
classic.
what the fuck is this? I'm like, this is great. This is just 80s cheese, and I love it.
Yeah, that's exactly why we love Hocus Pocus. It's 90s cheese.
Yeah.
So
And the
it's-
Reaper is Frankenstein.
Yeah.
What's not to love?
So
We gotta watch Easy Money. I know. I think
I
you've
love
only
it.
seen Easy Money once, right?
I saw it when I was a kid with my dad, and I saw it with your dad.
And then we watched it with Dad. But we
About
got to show it to
15
Ryan.
years later.
I fucking love that movie so much. But that was probably like 2012 or so. That was a long time ago.
2013.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
So
been a while. And I saw it like 97 with my dad because we were on like a Rodney Dangerfield kick. He's like, I got to show you this one, Easy Money. It's hysterical because he couldn't stop talking about the scene where he yells at the kid at the photo booth. Sit down, you little bastard.
Yeah. Someone will you shut the fat little bastard up? It's so funny.
Watch that.
Have you seen that?
Wally Sparks, a couple of
movie?
them back to back. so-
Easy Money with Rodney Dangerfield?
That's great.
It's so good. Rodney Dangerfield and Joe Pesci. It's so fucking funny. It's so good. Like, it's my favorite Rodney movie. I know everybody goes to Back to School. Back to School is great, but Easy Money is just excellent.
I've always loved Ladybugs.
funny.
Just because
I love Ladybugs. That was the first Rodney anything I saw. Just because
Yeah.
I was like, that guy's funny looking. I'll go see that movie. that was advertised in tandem with Wayne's World because they were Paramount movies that came out like a week or two apart. So it was like full page ads of like Wayne's World and Rodney. It
What
was
a
like,
time that was.
what was
my
the
God.
dog movie that he did? I never saw that.
Rover Dangerfield.
Yeah.
My cousin did the music for that.
Are you fucking serious?
Billy Tragesser. Yeah.
For
I have it. Warner Archive put that out on DVD, so I actually have it.
That's fucking funny.
Hey. I mean, it's silly. It's no.
It's Rodney for kids. Yeah.
It's no Disney movie. Yeah, and it's a bunch of his. It's a clean version, but it's cute. Like for what
that
it is.
says David Newman.
Music by David. Well, okay. Well, the score then or whatever was.
I'm
His name's in the credits.
with you, dude.
No, I'm just saying his name's in the credits. Billy. I mean, he married into the family. He's not a blood relative.
Uh-oh.
Does that say Harold Ramis fucking wrote this movie?
Probably.
Yeah. Well, he worked on Back to School with Rodney.
What
He
the fuck?
helped Rodney adapt his act to.
I have
Oh, well, now Christian has to see it.
no. That like
All the more reason.
Listen, usually obscure '90s animated movies I tend to try and watch is like a little bit of that stuff, but this just
You already housed that one Liquid Death. Wow.
It's water,
You're that
dude.
thirsty. No, I know it's water, but you finished it already. I think it's funny. Do you want this other one? Do you want this berry?
No, it's okay. That'll be for whoever actually finishes their drink in a timely manner.
You mean if we start? Because now it's 9:00 and we haven't started yet.
What else is new?
I know. Well, again, it's rare, for you to be here. So
Yeah.
Jack's just happy
I'm
to be
enjoying
here.
this, 'cause-
Yeah. Well, listen, it's just a big hang. Cape is a big hang.
Yeah.
That's the point, and that's why we have fun. Oh, my parents tuned in to about 20 minutes of the Halloween live stream.
They did.
Yeah, they did. Oh, and my mother's so funny. She's just like, it was more boisterous. I was like, well, that's usually how the show is. Like,
That's usually
most of
how
the
it
time.
goes, Ma.
yeah, that's what I said. I was like, so that's how it is. There's a big love fest going on between my parents and Christian, and I'm like, well, it's. 'Cause
I gotta
it's
listen
fun.
to them this
It's
week while I'm
fun.
at work. So I've been listening to them while I have
Have you?
off the phone time.
They
so
were.
I listen.
I mean, Christian was really ready to retire from Cape because he's like, these are the best episodes you've ever done. It's never going to get better than this. And I was like, well, Jack's offended because he's going to be on in 2 weeks. But
No.
no.
Your parents own that distinction. That's fine.
but they were really, really like they turned out better
No,
than I hoped.
I'm very excited to. I love the episode with you and Joe and Ryan. But Joe's food stuff is like
That's why we just kept.
Doritos chicken or whatever the fuck.
That's why we just kept going.
Yeah,
Joe
like-
was on a roll,
Yeah.
and he only had like 2 beers, but he had a buzz going. We're like, let's let him go. Like, I want all
For
this.
the Halloween.
No. For the first one we did we did the Doritos.
Oh, the Doritos.
Hydrate before you dihydrate is my new favorite fucking thing in the world. I can't tell you.
so
That kept me
good.
laughing for a good 10 minutes.
That was. Did you see? I posted in my story. Jack sent me a text like, "You have any idea how difficult it is to listen to your show while
I'm
trying
at
to
a
get work
standing
done?"
desk at work and I have it on, and Joe says, "I'm like, what?"
I was like, "I'm trying to get work done."
Hydrate or dihydrate.
Hydrate before you dihydrate. Yeah, that's got to be a shirt. More Cape merch. Hydrate before you dihydrate. Liquid Death.
So good.
Send us free shit. Anyway,
That should be their fucking slogan. Hydrate or dihydrate.
hydrate before you dihydrate for next summer. Maybe that'll land us a sponsorship.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Chris Aballo, and you may know me from the only podcast that matters. They don't. Oh, well. Anyway.
What?
Yeah. What?
Did you
I don't
the-
care.
Did you like that color wipe? Yeah.
Oh, that is excellent.
Ah,
The sun.
the sun.
He's on fire. Fire. You should do that. Actually,
I am going to. It's
Should
so
I
good.
should I add like a in post like chimes?
Yeah, of course. Not NBC chimes.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's more you know.
I was just
That is
thinking, like,
NBC,
going
yeah.
up yeah, but I was thinking just going, like going upscale, like
Yeah.
like when a rainbow appears.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, 3. No, just kidding. It's never that easy.
Nah.
No.
Next up, we're going back to last summer, August of 2022, from Cape 213 with myself, Christian, a little bit of Ming Chen. At least I don't think you hear him really, but he's there. And Chris Mad, who actually, this was his last time on the show. We've tried and failed to get him on 2 episodes in 2023, and he hasn't been on the show yet. Hopefully he'll be on one of these last few episodes of the show. So he will have an appearance in 2023 because he's an important part of the show and he's really, really funny and we love him. He's part of the Cape family. So hopefully he will be on the show soon. If you haven't seen him yet, well, fingers crossed. And actually, there was a little segment of this put out on social media before the episode went up, which was the last time I put out a pre-show teaser. I used to do that sometimes where since the new episode goes out on Monday, so sometimes on Sunday, I would put up a little pre-show teaser to show who's on the episode because it varies week to week. So it's also kind of a cast reveal, if you will. But because there's usually a small moment in the pre-show that was funny. We weren't doing it as like a promo for the episode or anything, but it was like, let's put that out there. It'll be fun. But videos released on Sundays on Instagram and YouTube don't really get a lot of traction. And the way TikTok works, you may not see the video that day at all. You might see it 3 months later. And I find that kind of funny because I'm only now seeing, here we are, it's the second half of November. I'm getting likes on the Cape TikTok account for videos that went out in August and September. So it's one of those things that, honestly, a little teaser for Cape 213, that was the last one I put out because I said, well, no one's really seeing these. So it's kind of not pointless, but pretty close too, because if the audience isn't seeing it, then why put it out there? Why not just let the episode go out on Monday and have that be that? So a bit of this with another false start for the episode, which, yes, is a recurring theme all the time, and definitely one in these From the Archive episodes. So from August of 2022, here's a little bit from the pre-show from Cape 213.
Whenever we are ready to go.
Of course. Yeah, we're rolling? Okay, of course.
Yeah. Oh, hell yeah.
Of course we are. So what I was saying was, we're out at this bar, and she was just kind of saying, like, mourning the New York that was, where it's just like these venues are gone and all these places are shut down, and a lot of them survived the pandemic, but even before that, not a lot. It's just sad to see all this stuff go by the wayside. And I was like, well, I think part of it is also there's a whole generation that doesn't really go out to drink. A lot of Gen Zs would stay.
Yeah.
Also, would rather stay home and smoke weed. Like, don't necessarily go out to a bar and drink. Like, more weed than booze. It's just kind of evolved into like that's more of a social activity as opposed to going to a bar and having a few drinks. I'm not saying that's gone. I'm just saying there's a shift away from one towards the other.
Absolutely.
So that obviously has an effect on whether or not people are just going out, period, to shows or to just bars to hang out.
Yeah, is there a cannabis lounge? No. Then
not here. Exactly.
And I don't even know if that's a thing still. You know what I mean? Like,
there's a shit ton of them in L.A. again. But
okay,
of course,
so
in Colorado.
That's an L.A. thing.
Yeah, but like here, I feel like it's a matter of time. I hope so.
It depends.
It could be.
In New Jersey, there
we don't pump our own gas. Yeah.
In the sense, like, if you have a medical card and there's a place that's like, hey, you're allowed to smoke in here if you have a medical card. Mm-hmm. Something totally different because you're paying into all of the taxes and you're on the list of all the different cannabis councils and what have you.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, that's different. Now, if you can't just be like, hey, we have recreational marijuana, by the way.
Yeah. There's still red tape. There's still a lot of red tape.
CBD stores, it's fine.
Well,
the Green Room in Red Bank, that's fine. They have a whole lounge and everything. Record player. Cigar stores, same idea.
Yeah.
There's so many.
It's very, very slow, it's like that's Ryan's big issue is just like, these breweries, they can't even advertise that they have food trucks coming.
Nope.
Like, and it's fucked up, right?
Archaic.
It's just like, just the idea like, okay, they can't serve food because of, archaic laws.
Archaic New Jersey brewing laws that were really pushed around like post-prohibition.
Yeah, 100-year-old laws.
Just to bully a bunch of these smaller businesses to pay into a bigger system.
Totally. But even the idea they can't advertise, like, we got a Thai food truck coming on Thursday. We got a taco truck coming Friday.
I'd go there.
Oh, well, that's it.
Oh, my God.
It's like, you can't even say, like, who's going to show up. Like, that's a violation? Like, what the fuck
We're
is
going to
that?
have a truck
Like,
show
what?
up coming today, and you just have to be in the know.
That's it. Well, and that's kind of it. Like, if you follow the trucks, they will tell you that they're going to be there. But, like, the brewery cannot advertise who's going to be there. And I'm like, well, why? Who wins? Like, what's the crime? I don't know. It's weird. It's that shit where I'm just like, the
Everybody hates government bureaucracy.
Pretty much. It's like, what's the opposite of if pro is the opposite of con, progress is the opposite of Congress. I know.
Right.
I read that somewhere, but I wanted to hate it, but I really like it.
You're like, fuck. This
I'm like, I'm gonna co-op this because it makes total sense.
Oh my God.
Right? 3. Yeah, I don't do transitional material. Come on.
Like, what the fuck? Cold open. I was like, I know how this show works. I was like, what the fuck? What are you doing? An ice cold open.
Right? Everybody's waiting for it. It's just like, can we go, please? I mean, I told Ming, I was like, Ming, you could take off if you want. He's like, I'm good. I'm like, all right. Stay. You're welcome to stay. Yeah. You want if you want to flip your mic on, you can. You know that. Whatever you want.
I mean, he's kind of part of it. His last name is Chen.
Yeah.
So
There's
there's
C
4
somewhere.
C's. There's
4C.
3.5.
If you're calling by his government name, it's Cliff. You got 4 C's.
Okay.
That's also a Steve.
Ooh, look at that. Man. Chris Cubed ideas. I was married to it for so long, and now it's just got to get flushed.
It just had to get done.
the
The Cube Cast.
That's a solid name, and it's gone now. Now we got to adjust. We got a freeloader. Kidding. I love you, man. I do. Okay, we good for real? Mm-hmm. I totally am.
Cool. Yeah.
Finally. I know. Like, I haven't been on for a year, but I know how this goes. Start the fucking show, old man. All right. I know. We're all getting into a position, right? Yep.
Yeah, pretty much. Defensive position.
Performance position. Everybody. Yeah.
Headlights on.
It's like an anime. Expect a streak of color to fall, a different color to fall behind each one of us. I don't even watch anime, and I know that. Fucking weird.
Turn the lights on.
And here we go. This is more like the posture show. Like this week, we're going to talk about perfect posture.
Do you guys like sitting up? Do you like slouching?
Either way,
more
this
of
is
an
the show for
in-between.
you. Yeah. Christian's just going to lean forward. Like you see, he looks sleepy. I'm fucking tired.
So that's the actual show posture.
Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Go ahead. Actually, that works because Chris looks like a giant. looks like Gandalf, and you look like a hobbit. Like that's perfect, actually. Like forced perspective, that works very well.
So if it's forced perspective, so then I should go down.
I know I look like a kindergartner. I'm sitting here on the end. Like if I drop the chair down, I'm just gonna be like, wow. Who's filling in on the show this week?
It's my podcast now.
Like there's a guest host again. I'll let that kid in here. That's right, 49 minutes late.
Welcome to the Chris Squared, a podcast experiment.
Chris Cubed.
Chris
We're
Cubed.
3.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, Chris Cubed.
We're making it a crowd, baby.
With added Ming.
Yeah.
Just put a little balloon, like a burst balloon, in the corner.
Now with added me.
Now with added Ming.
So you brought us all together. You've gathered us here on the Cape Podcast.
What a dumb fucking show.
I'm sorry, but like I pictured the commercial very delayed, and then I just saw.
I know.
I
I can't get it out of my head. Like in the trailer, it's gonna have to pop up with a little bell sound. Like
Not
the balloon is
ding.
just gonna pop up, ding. Like after the lightning strike, where the rest of the name fills
See,
out.
but mine got very specific. Like mine
Okay.
was like an old animated like 50s ad, and then it was just like
At the
that
drive-in,
thing.
at the drive-in
Yeah,
that you
like
go
the let's
to.
all go to the lobby type thing. Oh my god! Fuck. A very animated one.
Yeah. Oh my god, I'm tearing up. That was great.
Let's
See, that's-
start the fucking show. Let's all...
That's what I told Paige. I was like, once we all get in the room, like bets are off. She's like,
Oh, for sure.
That's fine. Don't worry about it. I'm like, I like that in writing. Anyway, all right, everyone's sitting up. Everybody's ready.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's do the Wayne's World in 4.
3.
For real. In 3, we're just throwing this shit away. Let's just do it on the show. Ready? What an archive.
And now we're going to jump ahead only 3 episodes, but almost 3 months later because there's a little fall hiatus. So we're going to Cape 216 from November of 2022. Wow, I can't believe this was a year ago. I'm actually really, really surprised. Ryan was about to have his second child, Ryan Taggart, who's in this clip with me, along with Ming Chen once again. Or again, I don't think you really hear Ming, but he's definitely referred to. But he was there, so he gets credit for that. But Ryan Taggart's son just turned a year old. So it's kind of funny to think back to, oh, wow, yeah, this was a year ago. And that kid is 1 now, and he didn't exist when we put this together. And there was a bit of talking about that in Cape 216. So it was kind of weird to think like, oh, wow, this was a year ago. Oh, my God, this was a year ago? That thing where you're like, oh, that doesn't feel like a year ago, but at the same time feels like so long ago. It's kind of one of those situations for me. But funny to look back because, you know, even though I had notes for these, I still watched them all back over the last 2 weeks as I was putting this thing together. I mean, the show itself and the episodes throughout the years are a bit of a time capsule, but it's really interesting for me to watch this back, especially since this stuff hasn't been released publicly. Just go back and watch it again for the first time since we recorded it and just think, wow, this was that long ago. And kind of forget also that there were these funny moments, because I could read about it in my notes and just be like, what is this? Or see that there's maybe something that would make a fun behind the scenes reel from the pre-show. That's usually where those come from as well. You've probably seen those on Instagram and TikTok. And just think, oh, I don't know what that is, but I'll give something a title like egg salad reel. And they'll have to be like, what was that? What was that discussion? I have to go back and then see what it was. So it's always funny to look at the titles that don't tell me everything, but tell me there's a clip here. Go to, 22 to 23 and a half minutes, something like that. And there you go. Make a behind the scenes reel. And I don't think there's actually one that was about egg salad. That was just the first thing that came in my head, weirdly, because I don't like egg salad. Anyway, here's a clip from a year ago, the pre-show from Cape 16 featuring myself and Ryan Taggart.
What do you do? I need to pull that thumbnail? Is that what it is? You're like, I'm going to pose for it. You're like, delicious hydration.
Hydration is key.
Hydration is key, especially for you these days.
Yeah, it's telling me.
Yeah. Old fuck.
Fucking.
You okay?
Yeah.
I'm trying to be.
Shit sucks.
Tell me about it. It's getting old business. Ain't for pussies. I'm telling you. See, he knows. Ming's like, you kids don't know what you're talking about. But yeah. And we were talking about our ailments during dinner. We went to dinner before we came here, and we're talking about. I got a bulging disc in my neck and my lower back, and Ryan has ringworm and kidney stones and all kind of shit. So we're like, I know. We're like, didn't expect all this was going to happen yet.
Like, who the fuck gets ringworm?
And it told, again, I got it as a kid. I don't know where and how, but it was a quick,
It was just there one day. And I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah. And then
woke up, my ankle started itching, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? There's nothing there.
Yeah. And then it cured.
And then all of a sudden it was there. Then there's a big ring on the ankle, and I'm like, all right.
And as soon as that went away, another one popped up on the other ankle. Like
it's like I don't bathe. Do I not bathe?
Maybe. I don't know what you're up to.
No, I do.
Well, do you clean your tub? Maybe that's what happened.
No, I do. Yeah.
All right. I don't know.
I have like bleach, spray, like that tile shit and whatever. And then I spray it, I scrub it, and like I don't like dirty tubs.
Okay. I'm just asking. Yeah. Just because you clean yourself doesn't mean you're cleaning your accoutrements.
I clean my shit.
Okay. Yeah. Easy.
No, you easy.
It's so funny if you wrote that in something like I cured, like if that was a sitcom, let's say you're writing a sitcom episode or something, it's like, I got ringworm. Who gets ringworm at, how old are you? Almost 39.
38.
Let's say 39.
Almost, yeah.
Let's round up. It's funnier. It's closer to middle age.
Yeah.
I was like, who gets ringworm at 39? And then it's like you cure it in one leg, and then it pops up on the other leg. They'd be like, that's too much. That doesn't happen. Meanwhile, in real life, IRL, there you are, ringworm.
Yeah.
Both ankles. Yes. You don't need to show me. I just ate dinner. No, I don't want to see it. I want my dinner to stay where it is for now.
It's happening.
And see, you're gonna fuck with your sock, and it's gonna flare up.
Right.
And you're gonna be like, God damn it, for the next hour.
Yeah, no, it really fucking sucks when you have like long socks on, because then it just itches it even more.
Totally.
Like fuck.
So you gotta wear ankle socks. Well, at least the weather's appropriate for it.
Yeah.
You got a nice warm weekend.
I can't.
You Googling me?
Chris Aballo podcast.
What comes up? I'm like, what the hell? My website's so out of date. I don't know the website. See the best of. I don't even have anything current. Exactly. I put that up in December.
Oh my God, look at this hairline. The fuck?
Yeah, can we turn off the lights? Can we do this in the dark? Put a flashlights under our chin.
Do you see this hairline?
Like, it's another Halloween episode. Sorry. We didn't plan on it, but Ryan's insecurity is inflating along with his prostate while his ego shrinks.
Yeah, at least I'm head on in this video, so I'm
not
filming my fat ass profile.
I know. Yeah. And it's not an ill-fitting shirt either, which wouldn't be a problem, though.
It's borderline.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, we just ate. So,
yeah, I mean,
same for me.
I'm feeling a little puffy.
My shirts have been kind of fitted for the last, year plus since I dropped some weight. So now I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't have eaten that basket of bread before we left.
Yeah.
Oops.
He's like, you're going to eat this because I'm going to tear this shit up.
I did. I literally, this is what a fat ass I am underneath this calm exterior, this slender-ish exterior. the girl, we went to Texas Roadhouse. And the waitress asked us, you know, like, do you guys want any dessert, any coffee, anything like that? I was like, can we get another basket of bread? Is that allowed? And so we get a basket of these 4 like sweet rolls, whatever they are. They're delicious. And the butter is delicious.
Yep.
And I eat one, and then I'm going for a second one. I'm like, Ryan, do you want the other 2? Because I'm totally going to kill this. And he's like, go ahead. I'm like, awesome. So I get like 6 rolls and a whole ass dinner. Because
Give me the carbs.
Rolls are free, man. Before you eat.
well, I
Yeah.
felt kind of shitty. Like, no dessert. But if you have free bread, I'll take it.
Yeah.
And she's like,
She
I
rolls
should have
her
known.
eyes as she walks away.
But she got a better tip. I literally
Oh, yeah.
tipped her because of that. Like, I'm using the little, whatever that is, little digital thing on the.
She
I
gave me
sound like
more
an old
bread.
man. I did. Like their comments.
20%.
Like, would you rate your waitress? What would you like to say about, I don't remember her name, Jamie. That's for example.
Jess.
Was it Jess?
I think it was Jess.
Okay.
Yeah. So at least one of us
And-
cares.
Wow. Sorry, the carbs went straight to my head. Can't remember shit. I'm also old.
Yeah, that's not false.
Ming, bless you for rolling for the last 13 minutes. I love you so much.
Oh, you got all this?
Oh, he
Perfect.
know.
Yeah.
Oh, they know. They know.
Oh man,
I did. I looked when we sat down. I was like, "Oh, he's rolling already." I mean, I wasn't.
the
not-
gold is always in the outtakes.
Not that this was not that we were cooking this, and I wasn't
Right.
like, "Hey, it's rolling. Let's talk about your ringworm." It
Right,
wasn't-
yeah.
It's like, you know, that's pretty dumb, and no one's
Right.
gonna want to hear it. But
Yeah, well, now they did.
well, somebody will.
Yeah, this is gonna go out
Save
there
it.
someday. Yeah.
Well, everything does.
Here are the shavings.
yeah.
Here's the gross shit.
Here's the shit that's left over
Yeah.
from before we actually got started. And if it's more entertaining than the actual show, then
Yeah.
sorry. Ready?
Ready.
Okay. In 3, what was that? All of a sudden,
Freddy.
adolescence crept up. 3, 2, 1. Woof. That's better. See? Liquid death hydrates my dulcet tones for... Anyway,
That's better.
it is. See, it gave Ryan an accent. This liquid death is something.
Yeah.
People don't know what you're missing.
Right. Oh, chap.
Bear. Cap it off with a little Winston Churchill. Bear. Never gets old.
Never gets old,
I
and
say
it
that
never
on
will.
a daily basis to absolutely nobody.
Yep.
Just to myself. 3. Dumb fucking show.
Today, Junior.
Shut the fuck up. Actually, the gas. You know what's funny? I had a gas bubble from the carbonation, but sitting right there, and I'm like, it's gonna be hello world.
You're a gas bubble.
Your mother's a gas bubble. Apparently, you and I can't do shows together anymore. Just the two
Nope.
of us, because look what happens.
It's over.
It devolves into this.
Wait, I thought you were engineering this.
When?
You told me that. I was like, who's engineering the show? You're like, me.
No, I said Ming, not me.
Oh,
you deaf fuck.
I was like, Ming doesn't have to be here for this nonsense.
No, I told you Ming was gonna be
Oh,
here.
I thought you said me. I was like, oh, okay,
No, I
fine.
said Ming.
All right.
God damn.
Gotta get the old hearing check.
Yeah,
now,
a
too,
chiropractor,
apparently. Yeah,
hearing doctor,
chiropractor.
an audiologist, or whatever a hearing doctor is called. I don't know. You got the kidney specialist now.
Yep.
God damn.
Yeah.
I said Ming, not me. He's engineering Ming.
Well, fuck me, right?
Apparently, somebody has to.
Yeah.
I mean, I would never object to access to the Bellworks studio gladly, but it's not on the table currently.
Okay. Forgive me for mishearing.
Yeah, you did. You misheard.
Yeah.
It's misheard. Is that a thing? Misheard? Is that a word?
Yeah.
Okay.
I misheard you.
All right.
Yeah.
Sure.
Get on with it.
3. Take a shot every time Chris starts the countdown and doesn't complete it.
Yeah, you're starting to be like me.
Oh, God. See, now that's not going to get my head. It's going to be chicken critters all over again. It's never going to leave my head. Every time you take a sip, it never fails. 14 years strong. 14 and a half. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Anyway. For real this time. Ming's like, I finished this
As
can.
Ming bangs
This
his
entire,
head
he's
against the
like,
wall.
yep, and that's
Oh
one
my
can
God,
down.
Start the fucking show.
I've got shit to do.
And now for the final clip for From the Archive, Volume 5. I didn't slip in a full-on announcer voice because I was like, why am I going to do that? It's still me. It's still Chris here talking to you about all this nonsense. So this clip is kind of unique in that the show is almost never edited for time or edited for content. Clearly not edited for time. If you've been listening to the show for even a little while, you've probably figured that out when you look at the runtime for the episodes. But there was an episode done back in August of 2021 with myself and Christian Cortez, where we said we're going to take an episode just to talk about our fandom and our love of all things Muppets, because we've been talking about, we had conversations and shared different things with each other. I'm saying like articles or, stories or, whenever some bit of news popped up or something like that, we'd always send it back and forth to each other. So we said, we really need to sit and talk about this because the Muppets and that whole Jim Henson world was such a huge influence on both of us, even though he and I are several years apart. Christian was born in 1995. I was born in 1981. And yet the Muppets and the creations of Jim Henson have had a huge influence on us. And just Jim Henson as a person, as a creative, has been a huge influence on us. And we said, let's sit and talk about all this stuff. Anyway, we recorded for 2.5 hours. Now, that seems like nothing for Cape in 2023, but at the time, I think we did 22 minutes of pre-show, and some of that was used in From the Archive Volume 4, which is where I made notes and saw like, oh, okay, I never released anything from the second half of the show, because what happened was, and as you'll hear and see near the end of this clip, and there was a further conversation once we actually finished, where since we talked for over 2 hours, we're like, this is going to be a really specific episode. Not that Cape is made to be broad, that it's something everybody can listen to, because nothing everybody can get into. It's 2023. There's too much media, too many options, too many things competing for audiences where not everything's going to reach anybody. We thought this might be a little bit too narrow, a little bit too specific, because we got really nerdy in the second hour. We joked about how much of this is going to get cut out, and you're going to hear that, at the end of this clip. But after we finished recording, we had a conversation like, yeah, this is probably going to get cut in half, right? Yeah, this one's going to get cut down because it was too nerdy. And at the time, for most of 2020, 2021, 2022, the episodes were audio only. The occasional video episode would go out, but this was an audio podcast first. But now the full video episodes go out every week, and that's kind of become the standard when it comes to podcasts. And I chose this section because, look, the importance of Christian and his contribution to Cape cannot be understated. And I thought this was a particularly eye-opening look under the hood, behind the man, if you will. But Christian opened up a little bit about the Muppets and his fandom and things like that. So it's a Christian-heavy clip, as it should be, because he is an integral part of this show. He's probably, I haven't sat and figured it out, and I don't know if anyone else has either, but since 2020, aside from me, he's probably been the most episodes of Cape. But since this is something he and I can relate to, and you probably can too, because everyone's a fan of something. Right now, all my friends are getting super nerdy about football because football's in full swing, I think. I really don't know at what point the season's at in November. I feel like it's been going forever. But in reality, I don't know. What are they, 8 games deep at this point, halfway through the season? I don't know. I don't care. I don't really pay attention to it. But everybody gets nerdy about stuff. People get nerdy about sports. People get nerdy about cars. I mean, look, people get nerdy about true crime. I mean, isn't that still like the top podcast? I mean, okay, fantasy sports and true crime are probably the top podcast categories, but everybody has something. And we chose this episode to get really nerdy about the Muppets. And we ended up going on a little bit too long, so much so that even we said, okay, maybe we should calm this down a little bit and maybe I'll trim it down. So I did. But this clip, I thought, really shines a spotlight on Christian, and watching it back, I thought this is really good and it should be out there. So from Cape 180, from back in August of 2021, here is myself and Christian Cortez getting a little deep, talking about the Muppets.
I think the key which is a lot with this goes for any fandom, is to not make it so much a part of who you are. You can love something, but I think the expectation for, especially with fandoms now, is that when they hear, oh, you're a Muppet fan, they think
it's your whole identity.
They think that's your whole identity. When I'm like, well, no, I'm still Christian Cortez.
Yeah, exactly. There's more than just this one area.
Yeah, there's a lot to me.
Mm-hmm. It's not just that. Yeah, same.
Same.
So
It's like, I love the Muppets, but it's a lot of stuff that's very not Muppety that I love too.
Yeah, and then that's
The
why
aforementioned Howard Stern. Not a whole lot of overlap.
And that's why I think like a lot of people are so put off with it now. I think now I'm making the connection because I think when they hear, oh, you're a Muppet fan, and they think of how toxic, crazy other fans of media can be.
Yeah.
They're like, what the fuck does a toxic Muppet fan look like?
Or not even that, but even people like, I wouldn't say anything about the Harry Potter fandom is toxic, but the people who are into it are way into it.
Yeah.
Way into it. And I think you associate any kind of fandom with that, which is weird. I think in general, because it doesn't get any more mainstream than Star Wars and Marvel movies now.
Yeah.
So it's not, you can't be like, I'm such a nerd. I went and saw,
Which is weird
I
to
can't
say
wait
that
for
the Muppets isn't
Shang-Chi.
mainstream.
It is. It's not now. Once upon a time, it absolutely was. But the idea that they're not, I have a big problem with it.
Yeah.
But it's like that stuff isn't nerdy anymore. Like there was a time when it's funny because people can't reconcile that, particularly people in their 20s, even right now, don't understand. I'm like, no, there's a time when Star Wars was not cool. Like a comic movie was not cool. It was okay to like Batman, but it was really only okay to like 2 Batman movies. Just those 2 Tim Burton movies, and that's
And everything
it. Like,
after
you
that,
can,
you're
and the
not
animated
allowed.
series, you could be like, that was cool when I was a kid, but you wouldn't dare talk about watching it now.
See,
And same
like-
thing with Star Wars. It's like, oh, Star Wars, that's for nerds. And meanwhile, there's nothing more relevant in pop culture than Star Wars and Marvel.
And you want to know what? I can partially understand it as well because when you think of the Muppets, you lump all Muppets together.
Yes.
And that includes Sesame Street, and that includes Fraggle Rock, and that includes people just tend to think if it's a puppet, it's the Muppets. And
Oh,
that's,
God,
and that's
yeah.
not the point. Like, that's not the case at all, which is hilarious because I actually did a corporate puppet show thing very recently.
Ooh.
Yeah, this was weird. I actually got paid to be a puppeteer for the first time ever, and it was the coolest
Hey,
thing ever.
congratulations.
And we produced 5 segments for this corporate thing, and I was like, this is going to be great. It was my characters, the Jimbo and Bob gang, and it was awesome.
Oh, this is on your reel, right?
Yeah, this is on my. Is it on my reel? Yes, it is on my. It's on my puppetry reel.
Yes.
I'll actually just send you the show.
Oh, please.
But yeah, the thing was great. The problem was they had marketed as the Muppets. They were like,
Oh,
"Oh,
really?
we have Muppets," and I was like,
Oh.
"Oh, you about to be disappointed." So like,
Yeah.
but here's the thing though. They were like, "Oh, it's not Kermit," but they were still like, "Oh my God, this is awesome." But like, that's the craft. That's the business.
Well, yes. Yeah.
so
unfortunately.
just so you people know, unless it says Muppet, it's not Muppets.
Yeah. And unless you're cutting a check to Disney, it's not Muppets.
Yeah, unless you're cutting a fat check to Disney.
That's right.
Give them your wallet.
All the licensing fees.
All the licensing fees. But yeah, it was a crazy experience, but it was also a cool realization because for the longest time I had wanted to work for Henson and the Muppets. Like I thought that that's where I could go and do that.
Right.
And I'm not saying this now because I'm out of shape. And believe it or not, it takes a lot of fucking work, physical strength to be a puppeteer.
Totally.
One of my favorite stories is James Bobbin. I think that's how you say it.
I believe so.
James Bobbin is the director of the last 2 Muppet feature films. Features, not the like the
Yeah, not the
TV movies.
Yes, not the show.
That's a guy named Kirk Thatcher. But James directed the last 2 theatrical Muppet films. The first thing he did on day 1 with the Muppets, with the cast and crew, was that he had everyone hold their arm up for 60 seconds. He had everybody on set do it, and everyone did it. Some people didn't make it, and they were like,
Yeah.
"That's what you have to realize that when people." So sorry. That's what you have to realize when you have to ask to light the scene for these characters. When you have to work
Right.
with them, because if they have to hold their arm up for as long as you're going to do that, make sure you do it with haste.
Yes.
Because like we're in the midst of royalty here, not in a prestigious, like uppity, like we can't talk to them way. That was apparently, from what I've heard, it was one of the most wonderful sets for people to work
Yeah.
on. Because the Muppet performers are the nicest people.
Yeah.
Which is great.
They have to be, and always have been, the most talented people in show business. Because think about it. You need
They're
to
invisible.
You need to physically perform this character. You need to do the voice, the personality, the physical movements. They had to be able to write the material. They had to be able to perform it, sing, everything. You had to be just that incredible to be a Muppet performer. And you still do. I mean, I realize there are different elements now. It's not as maybe as, let's say, punk rock as the Muppet Show was, where it's like we're all doing this in house and it's this core group of people. It's a bigger entity now, as it should. The machine's a lot bigger.
Yeah.
But you still have to be that good to do all of that, and that's not easy work.
And sing.
Yeah, that's it. Like you got to be
Even
able
if
to
it's
write,
poorly.
perform, and sing. Yeah,
But like,
and be able to improv. I mean,
there's a lot
in
that
there.
these guys have to do, and when James, that's one of my favorite stories is when he made the crew do that, and I made my crew do that when I was doing the puppet thing for the corporate event, because I was like, you guys got to realize, like, this is a lot. Like this is like, it's fun, but you realize, like, I'm like this, and like,
yeah, you're squeezing into an awkward space and maneuvering around, and then having to still
perform, be the voice.
Yeah.
And,
While being invisible, which you're right, that's another element of it where it's.
And the crazy thing was that I realized that, yeah, it would be awesome to work for this company, or for the Hensons, for the Muppets and stuff like that. But you know what? And I think that this should be a thing that other performers are comfortable with, is I'm a good enough performer for me.
Yes.
I am nowhere near where I would need to be to be a Henson performer. I have the self-awareness to know that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm a good performer for Christian Cordes Productions.
Right.
And I'm not the Muppets. So my bar is a little lower. and I'm not like saying that as laziness. I'm like, you know what?
No, but that's true.
It's my style.
Right.
Like, yeah, of course, there's anything with puppets, of course, has a small element of Muppet madness to it. It's just with that, can't help it. But if you set it apart more and allow the what's the word I'm looking for? The imperfections.
Yes.
Allow those to stand out a bit more, then that's where your style can come from. And develop. So I'm a good performer for me. And if it is in the cards that one day I get to perform in a fucking Sesame Street movie as like a right hand, which is how you start out, by the way. You perform background characters and you'll right hand for characters that are like Fozzie with the left. So
interesting.
That's typically how you start out.
Which is funny because you actually had submitted for their, what was the program? It was a couple of weeks. It was like an intensive thing, which was.
It was the Henson retreat where you could submit and you could submit your reel, which I'd never put together for my puppetry. So that was a first. And if you got picked, you get to go spend 3 weeks and go do the training and do all that stuff. And I realize now it probably would have not been fun. I mean, it looked like fun. All these performers had a great time. But I think my strength is in my writing. I know I can perform and I can act, but I prefer when my face isn't seen. Like, I love puppetry because I could be these crazy, zany characters and people don't look at this weird fat guy doing it.
I told you, I got to pull you on the camera all the time to participate in this goddamn show, so I'm not surprised.
So, like, that's why I also love Anderson Harbor,
right?
The show I'm working on, because I voiced the two leads, and one of the characters, Alexander, is literally just my normal speaking voice. But then Davey's kind of up here. He has the higher register. He's a lot more fun and fancy and free and on cocaine, and it's great. And see, like, that's fun for me. If I was to do that, like, in front of a
in front of a camera, not the same. Yeah,
it's
not the same.
Different
experience.
thing. Different than this, because I know I'm being taped here.
Well, it was also funny because one of the stipulations was height. What was that height cap? Was it like 6 feet or 6'2" or something?
It was a height cap. I was too tall.
Which is hilarious because Jim Henson was 6'5", so he was your height. So the idea, like, listen, you can't be as tall as Jim Henson if you want to do anything for his company. Sorry.
But honestly, I think working on the writing side is like, yeah, being a performer would be awesome. And I think I would love to get to a point where if I was to make a show that had the Henson Company involved somehow, I would love to, as a writer, if I was like creating it and be like, hey, can I just try performing a background character and just learn? I mean, I know I wrote and created the show, but like there's a point where I know I'm going to humble myself and be like, I'd love to learn. Right. Like, yeah, I'm the writer, but this is amazing. Even Jason Segel learned how to be a performer.
Yeah.
In the scene in his Muppet movie where they're all in the Rolls Royce in the car, he's performing Dr. Teeth and Beaker, and Amy Adams is, I think, Janice.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they all. I think
funny.
all the lead actors went through some sort of understanding of Muppet training. Jason Segel more than everyone else because he wrote it and produced it.
Right. Yeah, he was very vested interest in it.
But I think so Segel performed a bunch of characters too, like the archway stuff where they would do like because there's the shot where it's all the Muppets in the one archway, and you know that that's not actually real. Like
Right.
it's all the green screen stuff.
Right.
So it's the Muppet performers have to shoot all that stuff. Jason Segel did some stuff for that scene too.
Oh, cool.
So
Nice.
I love stuff like that because then it's like, someone who's mainstream, what was mainstream? Well, in mainstream,
Somebody in mainstream, yeah,
who has an understanding.
put themselves out there and
Yeah.
said, all right, I'm going to actually do this instead of just being the actor or the
Yes.
star or whatever.
Exactly. Another one that I'm also appreciative of is how the Muppets have always been there. Like
Yes.
I've realized when we were talking about the new Muppet Show, the latest one, not Muppets Now, the Muppets,
Right.
was the first time I was watching that. Was when my dad had gotten really sick, and this was like tail end of his life, and the first major surgery that he had after all of this had happened was the night that Muppets premiered. So we're in the waiting room, don't know what's going to happen because it was really touch and go, and of course on the TV is Kermit, Fozzie, Gonzo, all these characters having a grand old time. I'm not going to get upset, promise. And it was just so comforting. It was like a cosmic signal. Like, that's why I love these characters so much. Is like, yeah, they represent everything I love and all this stuff, but they've always been there. They're the best entertainment comfort food. Like, if I'm in a bad mood, I know I could watch Muppet Caper and just laugh.
Right.
So that's why these characters mean so much to me.
I get it. It actually only occurred to me a couple of days ago when we were talking about doing this episode that your life and Jim Henson's life didn't overlap at all. And that actually freaked me out for a moment. I was like, wow, he's a historical figure for you. Like, Jim Henson was a presence during my life. Not for much of it. He passed away right before I turned 8. But I remember being upset hearing about it. Like, I cried as a 7-year-old knowing that Jim Henson was no longer of this world. I mean, that was during a weird time when I started to lose people in my family.
I cried when I found out he wasn't around.
Yeah.
Like, I remember, I forgot who had told me about it, but one of my friends was like, yeah, he had a memorial service in New York. And that was the first time I had watched it. And
oh, forget it.
Fuck
Yeah,
it.
that wrecks me, that memorial service.
When they perform
Sure, it
just
does
one
too.
person, I'm just like, oh, fuck.
Oh, yeah, that. And
Like-
Big Bird singing It's Not Easy Being Green.
Oh, my God. I can't.
It's a lot.
Eh.
It's a whole lot. Or even the Muppets pay tribute to Jim Henson, too, that primetime special.
The
Like, he was
special
around
doesn't
here
make
somewhere.
the special doesn't make me cry as much as it makes me laugh, which is what I think that's what it was supposed
Well,
to do.
yes, exactly. It was supposed to be a somber affair, but
which it was, and it was the first appearance of Whitmire's Kermit. So
right.
I can't be all that mad because that's the one I grew up with, and Whitmire's
That's
Kermit
true. That's true.
is my Kermit. Like I love Henson, of course.
Mm-hmm.
That's Kermit the Frog, but like the Whitmire's Kermit is the one I know when I hear new Muppet stuff. And
That makes sense to
that'll
me.
never change for me.
That
That's
makes
why even though I've adjusted and I like it, it was very hard when Matt Vogel took over.
Right.
I'm very proud of him because he's been a performer since the early 90s.
Oh, yeah. He's
and
been around.
He's been around. I'm very happy for him. However, it's an adjustment,
Yeah.
to say the least.
Of course. And the voices are never going to be exactly the same. They're just going to be similar,
Yeah.
which is something, that bumps everybody anytime anything new Muppets comes along. And that's okay. Because
Yeah,
that's just how
100%.
it's going to be, folks. The characters will exist, but the performers won't always exist, and which can be kind of a bummer. Well,
But the Muppets live on. That's the
they
point.
do. And I've
you,
learned
man.
you're actually a bigger nerd than I am when it comes to this. You're so entrenched in this. I mean, I love it, though. I do. And that's why I was like, we could talk like crazy about
yeah.
all of this stuff, which is going to
We
be
were
fun.
joking we were going to be here till midnight, but we were wrong. It's only 11:30.
That's right. We only sat down 2.5 hours ago. And,
How much of this is getting cut out?
Enough. Enough.
And there you have it. 6 segments that make up From the Archive, Volume 5. I hope you enjoyed that because it's all new stuff. And I'm glad I did this. Like I said at the beginning, I was debating whether or not to do one of these because I thought, it's a little too inside, or is it that? No, not really. If you're listening to the show anyway, you know the people involved. You know everybody who we just heard from. And these are bits you haven't heard before, just like if it was a new episode that was just a new episode with a bunch of us talking about whatever. Same thing. And yeah, it's fun for me to go back and look at all this stuff and think, wow, there've been a lot of episodes. Wow, we talk a lot. Wow, I laugh a lot, but my friends make me laugh, so I'm not sorry about it because that's part of the reason. That's almost entirely the reason I do this podcast. But I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed putting it together, and I always do. I enjoy doing this, and I enjoy doing the best of, because when you crank out a show a week for several weeks a year, and when you've done 237 episodes of a show, you forget. You honestly just don't remember. Not including... What did I do with The Only Podcast That Matters? 216 episodes of The Only Podcast That Matters, plus another series of 10 episodes, The Guide to Life, which is wherever you get your podcasts. You can find that as well. But I've done so many podcasts and guested on a lot of people's podcasts. You forget, is what I'm saying. So to be able to go back and revisit some of this stuff for me and to let all of you hear and see it for the first time is pretty cool. So I hope you enjoyed this. And of course, the show will be back before you know it with yet another episode. So until next time, this is Chris Aballo, and this was yet another experiment.